Good evening to you and your viewers. For sure, there is a lot of positive repercussions after a rule of 54 years of the Assad family, with a lot of disappointments inside Syria, economic, political, and humanitarian. They killed a lot of Syrian people, and they adopted violence and isolated Syria from its Arab region, at least for the last 15 years. And it was more inclined to Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia. And that's why Syria lost the balance and lost its connection with the Arab region regarding all the dangers that threaten the Arab world. This rule of Assad has lost a lot of opportunities that could have been seized for more achievements inside Syria for peace and stability, and to have a government in Syria that can meet the aspirations of the Syrian people, end the war that started in 2011, and because this war has led to the displacement of 14 million Syrians and the killing of something like 1 million Syrians in 13 years. This has led to a great isolation of Syria from the Arab region and from the international community. And this has led to the destruction of Syria, which would need $900 billion now to rebuild Syria. So Syria went down with the Bashar al-Assad rule. So the question is, what will the future be like? It depends on Syrians themselves, and they can help themselves in rebuilding a new Syria. Will they be able to do that? Will they side away the terrorist organizations and terrorism inside Syria? Especially that there is more care of the international community that HTS would be capable of doing so. But it's still, there is a lot of complications and a lot of difficulties. Till now, we haven't seen any real participation of all Syrian groups and factions. And there is more of a domination by one party, which HTS, which belongs to political Islam. So people fear that the end of Bashar would lead to the presence of Julani as an alternative.
Let me just interrupt you there a second, because I want to ask you about some of the regional relationships that are taking place. Regional powers such as Turkey and Qatar have reopened their embassies in Damascus. How do you see those developments, especially when it comes to regional alliances?
For sure, there is a kind of intersection of great international presence now. The superpowers are really opening a dialogue with Mohammed al-Julani and HTS. Some Italian, French, British diplomats went to Damascus. Yesterday were the Germans, and today there is a great there is an important U.S. delegation going there, and there's also, of course, Turkey that is more dominating the situation. The foreign minister of Turkey will be visiting Syria in few days to meet with Ahmed al-Shara. The Turkish media also said that Erdogan will be visiting Syria soon and pray in the Umayyad mosque, and will discuss with Ahmed al-Shara how to establish a government that meets the aspirations of the Syrians. Probably the Arab side is still reluctant and in the wait-and-see situation, and not rushing to have much of an Arab presence in Syria now, till they see what is the nature of the rule in the transitional phase, and whether Ahmed al-Shara will continue to be dominating, or he will allow a dialogue and a national dialogue discussion, especially that Ahmed al-Shara has established his own government and has put governors all belonging to HTS and all belonging to political Islam. And there is also a connection between Ahmed al-Shara and Nusra and Qaeda before. So many of the Arab parties are reluctant and still waiting to see how the rule and how the next step will be in Syria. And by then there will be probably some connection with the Syrians, because everybody fears that a religious party will be dominating. Even the coalition of the Syrian opposition is worried about such situation, which has actually been the coalition that played more of a big role outside Syria to oppose al-Assad.
Of course, there are other worries as well and other concerns. For instance, with over 300 Israeli airstrikes reported so far in this year, and a surge in the US military presence as well. What are the risks of further escalation in Syria's military landscape?
For sure, there are fears inside Syria regarding the Syrian national security. Inside Syria till now, the Syrian army is not restructured. Maybe there will be a restructuring of the Syria, and some of the militant factions will get into the army with their weapons. This will be a great harm and a great hazard to the Syrian national army. Many of the political groups fear that such militants will become the Syrian army. There is a lot of fear happening because of this. Till this moment, there should be a quick redeployment of the Syrian army on the borders and inside the country in order to control the security, fearing that there might be some incidents here and there from the remnants of the terrorist organizations in Syria. And there should be a restructuring of the Syrian army as soon as possible to protect the Syrian national security with all the Syrian borders with Israel, Iraq, and Jordan, especially that Israel and Netanyahu took advantage of the vacuum in Syria to reoccupy certain parts of Golan Heights and have withered the disengagement agreement that was signed in 1974 and controlled Quneitra and the part of the countryside of Damascus and the El Sheikh mountain.